All right. Shalom, shalom. First,
Shalom.
I'm just going to give all praise and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh
Yahweh,
Shai,
Bashem,
Bahashem.
Yahushai,
I
Bashem, B'chakodas.
want to give double honor to Apostle Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. And Almighty Shalom and all the listeners, believers, and the Akim and Aqua staying rooted in this faith and truth, day in and day out, pushing the word of the Lord. All right. This is just a few of the brothers of the Gary Branch of Great Millstone, the brother Ayawab.
Yeah, what's up?
Yahweh.
All right. And we're going today video topic, Lord, when it's edified, is going into trust in the process. All right, understanding that everything that's happening in your life, everything that's happened before you came to the truth, even during the truth, was all planned from the beginning in order for your betterment. Okay. I also have this video from Affinity and what's it called? Avengers Infinity War. I want to declare the Copyright Act for educational purposes. All right. So we're gonna play this video to begin with.
Fair use, fair use.
Play this video to begin with. Give me 1 second. OG just called and tweaked on my computer. All right. Here we go.
You back here.
Hey, what was that?
Went forward in time to view alternate futures, to see all the possible outcomes of the coming conflict.
How many did you see?
14,605,000.
How many did we win?
One.
Bingo. He said one. So you have to understand that coming to this truth, the Lord, what did he say? He declared the end from the beginning, and he's known you from before you in the womb. Right. So he's written your whole life, what's it called, your whole script, the whole role that you're playing from the beginning, everything that's happening to you, the Lord written from the beginning. Understanding that everything that's happening to you or going to happen to you was for your betterment. This is the perfect walk or your perfect walk. Lord will be of that number in order to get into the kingdom. Right. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna switch the screens over. I wanted to start with Jeremiah 29, starting at verse 11. And I'm also gonna get in the NLT, read it in the KJV first. It states, "For I know the thoughts that I think towards you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace, not of evil, to give you an expected end." Right? I'm gonna read it in the NLT and then we can go from there. It says, "For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. There are plans for good and not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope." Right? So everything that the Lord is putting you through is not to destroy you, but it's also to build you up and become that man that the Lord knows that you can be. Right? We understand in the book of Hebrews, he puts all his sons through chastisement. And though that chastisement is grievous, though the different things that we go through in our walk may sometimes not be pleasurable, may sometimes put us in certain predicaments that's unfavorable, we understand that later on is going to yield that peaceable fruit. So all of the different things that the Lord is bringing us through is all for the betterment of ourselves, man. Right? For example, understanding on why we're in this wicked kingdom. So when the Lord does bless us with that righteous kingdom, we're going to appreciate it 10 times more. Understand of what we've been through, what the things we've seen, and how not to, what's it called, rule in that exact same way that led them to the destruction that's to come to this world. All right. Give me 1 second to get the next one. What was the one that you had up before I get this other one?
Matthew 6:33. Wanted to trust the process.
Matthew 6 and 33.
Yeah.
Uh, Con. It's beautiful because going up before this was going into pretty much how people be thinking of all the cares of this world, thinking of how to better their life in this world, thinking of, it says, what the Gentiles seek after, of what shall we eat, what shall we be clothed with? Because you have to understand the times that we're about to enter into, you're going to have to be living off pure faith, moving off pure faith in the Lord, that He's going to provide to you the things that you're going to need. Right. And through all of these different trials that the Lord's putting you through now, He's building your faith, because when you're going through all these different situations, you start to realize that I can't do anything by myself. I can't get out of these situations But the person who can get me out of these situations is the Lord Himself, right? Through every situation, when you start to just put it in the Lord's hand, you see more and more that the Lord always comes through for you. It says
Yep.
Matthew 6. What was you gonna say?
I was saying, yep.
Matthew 6 and 33. It says, "But seek ye first the kingdom of Yahweh and His righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you." Verse 34. "Take therefore no thought for the morrow shall take thought for things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof." You want to speak on it?
You got that.
So pretty much you got to seek the kingdom first, man. Seek the things. What does the Lord say? Place your treasures in heaven, where moth and rust do it not corrupt. It says, "Where your treasure is, your heart will be also." So if you're thinking upon these things, keeping your mindset upon these things, keeping your eye focused, right? Eventually, you're going to end up in the kingdom. Eventually, you're going to end up exactly where you want to be, man. Not worrying about the things that are happening to you day by day, not worrying about the things that are going to happen to you tomorrow, but focus on conquering the day. Focus on learning what the Lord is putting you through today and what you're supposed to be getting out of it. All right.
If I may, that is reminding me of like how people be having like investors or a sponsor in like sports or whatever entertainment business it is. You know, if you do what they want you to do and like you make them a certain amount of money, and just like how we doing with the Lord, we flipping pretty much His money in the metaphorically sense. You know, He gonna take care of us. You know, He gonna compensate us, and that's pretty much what
Incentives.
that says as well. You know, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and everything else that you gotta worry about these worldly cares. You know, the Lord gonna handle that.
All right. I got one. Proverbs 3. Proverbs 3 and 5. It says, "Trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not unto thine own understanding." Right. So we have to understand that leaning into our own understanding is how we got to the situation now. If you understood that before you came to this truth, when you were making decisions based off your own understanding, it was leading you to nowhere. It was leading you to continue with falling. Right. But once you came into this truth, you understand you had to come back as a newborn babe, learning the righteous way, learning the things that the Lord has put before you in order for you to grow from. You're starting to see that things is going to start blooming. It's starting to go, you're going to get profit from it. Right. That's what comes with not leaning upon that own understanding, but leaning upon the Lord. Right. And as we're leaning upon the Lord more and more, He's building you up. And eventually, like the brother said, that incentive of doing what He told you to do, He's going to come bless you with multifold, man. Did He not tell us in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, if your desire be scepters, thrones, and all of these other precious things, right? First obtain wisdom. So now we're going through that beautiful walk of obtaining wisdom and getting the things that are going to be profitable to us because we understand what else did it say. I believe that's in the book of Isaiah. It says, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of our time, right? That's what's going to help us navigate through all of these different trials and tribulations that we're about to be entering into. That wisdom that we've been building up, man, that wisdom that we've been storing up. Will we be one of those, what's it called, righteous virgins that's been storing up their oil from the Lord comes back, right? Stand ready, man. It says, "In all thy ways," Slaki, Proverbs 3 and 6, "in all thy ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct thy paths." All right. So when you acknowledge the Lord, wake up in the morning thanking the Lord for still keeping you in His truth, asking the Lord to help guide you, He's going to keep you on that that correct path, actually, because Proverbs 4 goes more into it. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I get straight to the point. It says Proverbs 4 and 11, "I have taught thee in the way of wisdom, I have led thee in right paths." Right? It says, "When thou goest, thy steps shall not be straitened. When thou runnest, thou shalt not stumble." So through this wisdom, this is going to was slack it. Through this wisdom, this is what's going to build you up. Make sure everything that you're doing now is going to become profitable. Right? Why? Because you acknowledge the Lord. You're doing it through the Lord now. You're not doing things upon that own understanding, going your own way, but you're going through the Lord, and He's going to be the one to build you up. Right? Trusting in that process, trusting in everything that you're going through is the Lord's will in order to get you to where you need to be.
Yeah, I got that word acknowledge for you.
Go ahead.
Acknowledge in the Edamon, it says accept or admit the existence or truth of. It says express gratitude
Mm-hmm.
or appreciation. Salakia.
Ooh, appreciation, man. Understanding that from the beginning, the Lord never wanted us to go off. The Lord never wanted, what's it called, rough things for us. No, He wanted us to be, what's it called, in great green pastures, man. Well, He wanted things to be profitable for us, but we understood. Well, He understood that going through this process is what's going to make us better, right? That knowledge of good and evil. Once again, by going through this evil, probably called world, we're starting to understand how much more the laws and statutes commandments was so beautiful for us. How much more it's profitable for us, right? How much more is going to build to everlasting kingdom. Give me 1 second. That's actually that was it on that. I'm gonna get that Romans 8, unless y'all have something.
No, you got it.
I
Romans
got some
8.
after you. Yeah.
You said you want me to get 18 first, or you said after I get 28?
It's whatever you want to do. Cause I'm pretty sure you know about 18. So whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna start.
Suits you.
Let me get 18. I'll jump down.
Kind.
It says Romans 18:8. It says, "For I reckon that the suffering of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us." Right.
Yeah.
So all what you say?
Kind. You got it. I could
No,
go
you
after.
got it. If you were saying something, go ahead.
Kind. Can you read that over one more time?
Yeah, it says, "For I reckon that the suffering of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us."
Yeah. So whatever we're going through right now is not worthy to be compared to whatever we're gonna get in the kingdom. You know. Uh, Even Paul, was saying that the things that he's seeing in the spiritual realm, he can't even put it into words. 'Cause that's how mighty it is. Whatever we're going through, just take it on the chin.
Mhm.
Uh, in the book of Sirach 2, it goes into how, just whatever you go through, take it cheerfully, you
Come
know, because hey, if we get through this right now, we got a lot more to be looking forward to.
on. Rolling with the punches, man.
And Kobe got kicked too.
Yeah,
So you gonna look out for him.
yeah, rolling with the punches, man. All the different things that once again you're going through now. It should put a smile on your face, because knowing that you're going through these things puts you in a better state. Knowing why you're going through these things also puts you in a better state, right? Because what did the Lord say? Once again, going back to the book of Hebrews, we're gonna end up pulling it out. If you're not going through anything, if you're not being a part of chastisement, which all are going through chastisement, it should make you question. It should make you question if you're really in this truth, if you're really one of the Lord's children.
Ooh, I
Right.
got one for you. Quick one, quick one.
Go ahead.
1 Peter 5:9.
You
It's,
got it.
it says, "Whom resist steadfast in the faith, knowing that the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world." So you're not alone, whatever you're going through. You
Yep.
know, we all, like you were saying. I think you were saying that off camera. We all go through stuff.
Mm,
Sometimes the same thing, sometimes different things. But hey, we gotta remain faithful. You know. Because the same, like I said in the scriptures, the same things are accomplishing your brethren. We all going through the same thing, and it's our rite of passage. You
mm.
know,
You got to understand, what does it say? The Lord is not the Lord. The servant is not greater than his master. Our big brother Yahushua went through all of these different perverse things, if not even worse. Right. But he conquered it. He showed us that it's possible to go through these different things and make it out. He's gave us hope. Right. So
hmm
now he earned his crown. He sits at the right hand of the Lord. Right now it's time for us to go through our process and earn our crown so we can sit at his right hand. Right.
yep.
It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be and let alone the things you're going through now. It's really not that bad. What he said, what is it? It's really not that grievous. It's another scripture that goes right with it. But the thing that the Lord is putting you through is honestly, it's a small thing. It could be 10 times worse, right? All of these little small quizzes are only here to help us when that major test comes, man. Right? But we gotta trust that process to understand that everything the Lord is putting you through is only to build you up or to show you where you're weak at, show you what you need to work more on. Right? Because if you don't acknowledge those different things that you're weak at now and fix those different things, it could possibly make you fall in that day.
hmm And he brought up a good point about Yahweh Shai, going through the same things. That's why he came in the flesh.
Mm,
One, to be, sacrificed, for the nation of Israel, the elect first, but also, being an example. That's what it said. He came down, not like, roughly paraphrasing, not like the body of an angel, but in the flesh, like his brother, to pretty much being a motivation unto us, you know.
Yeah. Now we're following in his footsteps. All right. It was mighty because we go back to the book of Romans 8, title being our victory in Hamashiach. Right? We got the victory. The Lord has already given us the victory. Now we have to just play out the role. We have to endure these days until the Lord decides that it's time. All right. The victory is already guaranteed. You just have to endure. You have to have that patience. All right. What it says, though some count slackness, but it's long suffering to usward. Right. These people in the world don't see what the Lord really has in store. These people in the world really don't understand what they're going through. Right. But we understand. We've been giving that inkling to understand. We've been given that inkling to know the mysteries and the secrets of the Lord. All right. We've been given a leg up. And now having that leg up, it should give you motivation to do what's right, man. Do what's needed in order to make it into the end. All right. It says Romans 8:28. It says, and we know that all things work together for the good to them that love Yahweh. All right. There's nothing that's coming your way that isn't actually being beneficial towards you. All right. It's always a lesson in everything that's happening to you. The question is, are you going to acknowledge that lesson? Are you going to acknowledge where you're going off and build upon it? Or are you going to let that be the reason that you fall out this truth? All right. One of the brothers said it's something that you are going through that another person went through and failed from. All right. But the Lord is right there helping you get through that thing in order to strengthen you. So you should be proud of how far you've came, right? Not letting it actually what was it called, puff you up. But understanding that, think upon that old man when you first came into truth and look how far you then came. Right? You conquered all of those other different things. Continue to have that mindset. Continue to trust in the Lord. You're going to conquer all of these different things. What did it say in the book of Philippians? It says, I can do all things through Mashiach who strengthens me. All right. So you can be able to conquer and be able to withstand all of these different things, just trusting upon the Lord. He told us that we were going to go through different temptations, but what did he also say? I will give you a way out. He is that way out. Ooh. I'm gonna keep going in this. 29. It says, for whom he did foreknow, he also did predestine to be conformed to the image of his son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. Moreover, whom he did to be moreover, whom he did predestinate, them he also called, and whom he called, them he also justified, and whom he justified, them he also glorified. All right. So this thing is already predestined. It was already written from the beginning of time. What you say?
I don't think nobody said nothing.
Oh, my bad. Well, all this stuff is written and it was predestined from the beginning of time for you to go through this different thing. And if you're a part of that, what's it called? You're gonna conquer it, man. You're gonna overcome all of these different things. What the Lord said, for those that overcome, I shall what's it called? Ooh, what is it in the book of Revelations? Those that overcome, pretty much I shall give you a crown, roughly paraphrase. This is most of the scriptures going into it. But those that overcome are going to be the ones that are going to get saved, man. But it was already predestined for you to overcome. And the Lord said he also justifies. So no matter what happens in this time, the Lord has already justified you, man. What it says, nobody can come charge to the Lord's elect. Now we don't know who we are in this thing, right? And that's what gives us that fear in order to try to stay in the right steed, right? But if it's already what's it called written for you to get the victory, hey, you're gonna get that victory. We just don't know yet, so that's why we're playing it out.
I got that word for you. Predestination in the Edamon, it says appoint or determined beforehand. It says the action of the Most High and foreordaining certain of mankind through grace to salvation or eternal life.
So he's already given certain men in this thing grace. He's already given certain men in this thing that gift, man. All right. Now, what's it called? Once again, we don't know who we are, but once again, that's all for our own benefit. Because if you knew who you were in this truth and you already knew that you had that ticket, would you be doing the things that you're doing? would you be living the way that you're living? Right? You would get puffed up. But see, the Lord didn't give us that foreknowledge to know these different things so that we're more sincere in this truth, man. We're more willing to do the things that we're supposed to be doing. Because if you really want to make it, you're going to be doing these things, man. Even if you don't know if you're a part of the what's it called, that number or not, you're going to put up the best fight you can put up in order to give yourself the best chance at becoming a part of that number.
If I made to add to your point, we were just talking about that yesterday. How rich kids feel entitled, and
Yep.
that would damn sure be us if we knew exactly who we were and we knew, that we would be getting delivered, before anybody else. So it's a good thing that the Lord kind of keeping us in the dark with that, but He's still giving us hope. Uh, that we're part of the hopeful elect because of the work that we're doing. Because not everybody else doing this.
Yep. I got precept James 1, starting at verse 2. It says, "My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations." Right? You got to count it joy because the Lord is bringing you through these trials now, rather than letting you fall into your own willful spirit and then being a part of that, having to go through that fire. Right? He's putting you through that fire now, so that when that time comes, hey, you're going to be made in His image. You're going to be one of those ones that's saved. So these temptations are for your benefit now, to help you. It says, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. But let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. Right?
Yeah.
Go ahead. You
I
got it.
was just gonna say that word patience could go into perseverance.
Mhm.
So all these different trials, helps you build perseverance and endurance. So you can be able to survive in the end. Well, based off of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, putting on your spirit.
Spiritual calluses.
Mm-hmm.
That was it on that. Hold on. That was it. You had anything else? I know what we can get. But did you have anything else before I get this? I'll take that as a no. It says,
Slack, it was muted. My bad. You get yours now. I had 1 Corinthians 10 and 13.
we can end on that. I'm gonna get this Hebrews because I was quoting it. It says, I'll start at verse 6 and go down. It says, "For whom the Lord loveth, He chastises and scourges every son whom He receives. If ye endure chastising, Yahweh dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chastises not?" Right? Just like in today's world, man. What father doesn't whoop his child if he's going off? What father doesn't punish his child for his betterment? Right? It says, "Train up a child, he shall surely not depart." Right? So going through this different training, you're gonna have setbacks. You're gonna have different times where you have to get disciplined, right? But if you nip it in the bud when he's young, when he's older, he's gonna know how I'm not doing that. I'm not going that way, because going that way is gonna lead me into something I don't want to be a part of, right? So that's why the Lord says, "Come back as newborn babes," and now He's teaching us the correct way and why we shouldn't be doing these different things. So when that time comes, we're gonna be, hey, I'm cool. I know what it says. A righteous man foreseeth the evil, and he hideth himself. We're hiding ourselves in the Lord, man. We're not going to be a part of that congregation of the wicked, the congregation of the dead, because you understand what's going to come for them. It says, "Though hand join the hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished." So we're not trying to join hands with the wicked because we see what's coming for them, right?
Well,
It says, verse 8, "But if ye be without chastisement, wherefore all are partakers," right? Like what the brother had brought out, man. Everything that you're going through, another brother has gone through. If not, is going through also, right? So don't think that you're just also different and that it's only happening to you. No, all of the children of the Lord whom He's called are going through different tests and trials, so that they can become that creature, that man that the Lord wanted them to be, that He intended them to be from the beginning, right?
mm-hmm.
It says, "Wherefore all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons." Right? So if He lets you, if you're not going through anything and you winning on this side, hey, you should question that. You should be real scared, because You may be winning now, but eventually your luck gonna run out. Now, yes, you're gonna be come back in the kingdom later on, but hey, you got to go through those corners of amendment and that fire. Right? We don't want to go through that, man.
If I may, that's the same thing pretty much brought out in that First Peter's 5. The same afflictions accomplishing your brother. Like I said, it's a rite of passage. So if you're not going through that, you should look at yourself sideways. You
Mm,
know, because this is part of the walk. We got to go through afflictions. We got to go again. We got to have temptations. Because in the world they even say, for something worth having, it shouldn't necessarily be easy. And hey, this is the ultimate thing to have. This is the ultimate gift or the ultimate reward. So it got to come with something.
Con says verse 9. Furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh which corrected us and gave them reverence. We respected our fathers. They whooped us. They put us on punishment. They put us through the different things in order for our betterment. Just shall we not much rather be in subjection to the Father of spirits and live? So we should have even more respect for the Father, all right, our heavenly Father, right? Because he wants what's truly best for us. And the men that he's appointed over our camps, right? He appointed them over our camps for a reason to help, what's it called? Cover or help guide us in our spirits, man. Right? Those men are set up in order to help you, right? To watch over you, right? To teach you where you're going off, to help you get in the correct path or help you better your craft or whatever gift the Lord is giving you. All right. Says verse 10. For they verily for a few days chastise us after their own pleasure, but he for our profit, that we might be partakers of his holiness. So this is all for our profit, man. The Lord wants to bless you, but he has to put you in a situation in order for you to get blessed. Right? He's not gonna bless you and you're not doing what he's asked you to do, which is crazy because he's giving you the whole world and everything you could ever want for doing what you're supposed to do. Do you see how mighty that is?
Oh, I got a precept for you.
Go ahead.
2 starting at verse we can start at verse 4.
You got it up.
It says, but put the start at verse 5. It says, who could go? Matter of fact, 6, Salakia. 2 to 7 and 6, it says, there's also another thing. A city is built and set upon a broad field, and is full of good. It says, and it's full of all good things, and that's the kingdom of heaven.
Mm-hmm.
It says, the entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there was a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water. And that narrow walk, is talking about this straight gate. You
Path of
know,
difficulty.
what'd you say?
Path of difficulty.
Yep. Yeah, that narrow path. It says, and one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could be but one man go there at once. You can't ride into the kingdom off somebody else's coattail. That's pretty much what it's
Mhm.
saying. You know, we all got to go through it. It says, if this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? Exactly what we were saying earlier. Hey, we got to go through whatever the Lord put us through. Whatever He ordained us to go through to attain the kingdom of heaven. Because if we don't, like the brothers bring in the book of Hebrews, if we bastards, we're not gonna be going through anything. And that being said, we're not gonna receive, our blessings, Lord willing.
Time. All right. Now it's nothing wrong because in the kingdom, the average Israelite still gonna be up. But you got it, man. Not like I don't want to put this in a word wrong. What's it called? Wordage. But we aiming to try to be a part of that ruling body, man. We want to be on that first go around, right? In order to be on that first go around and get that spiritual power and all the different things the Lord has said that He was going to give, you have to go through this path of difficulty. You have to go through all of these different things. All right. If you can't rule over your own spirit, why would the Lord put you over a whole, what's it called, world? Why would He put you in that type of rulership? All right. You couldn't even handle the small things. All right. But those that are proven to be able to handle the small things, those that are proven and test it, hey, he's gonna bless you, man. He said, since you were able to handle these small things, I shall make you ruler over many. And did not the Lord say there are many mansions in my father's household? You're gonna be ruling over planets, man. You got to believe these things, man. You got to believe what it say in the book of Hebrews. I believe that's in the 11. He said, you got to believe that he is one that's going to be a rewarder of those that a rewarder of your righteousness, roughly paraphrasing, right? You have to believe these things, man. And through your walk and through the things that you're doing, that's how you show your belief. Because what did it say? Faith without works is dead. Show me your faith, and I'm gonna show you my faith by my works. All right, by all these different works, all these different video epistles, all those different times you're going into the highways and byways, the way that you walk, you're carrying yourself, you're showing that you truly believe in what the Lord said, and showing that you believe that the Lord is going to come back and reward you for the things that you're doing.
Yep, and that just, if I may, that just remind me of what you just saying. You know, we don't want to necessarily be average. You know, you should want to be something greater than that. You know, and that's the problem with our people. You know, they so uh destroyed and that's the right word to say. You know, from
Custom.
all these captivities and shit like that. You know, they don't want to be a ruling class. You know, they want to be stuck at the bottom. You know, and that's not our hope. You know, Lord willing, we those men. You know, that's gonna be part of 144,000. And the 1/3, you know, we want to be part of that ruling class next to Yahweh Shai. You know, we expect greater out of ourselves, not just to be
Mhm.
just a regular person. You know, so to say.
To be able to have an input and be able to really make a difference. That's a lot of different things that's going to come with that gift. We get it on kingdoms, women, riches, but to really be able to make a have an impact and how the things are set up, man, that's so mighty.
Mm-hmm.
You was done with that?
Okay.
Last verse in Hebrews 12 and 11, it says, now no chastisement for the present seem to be joyous, right? Man, you know how many times throughout the day it'd be like, boy, I'm so ready for the kingdom. I'm tired of this world. I'm tired of the things I'm going through. I'm tired of this job. I'm tired of being at the bottom. Tired of seeing my people like this. But what did it say? With much knowledge comes much sorrow, right? So these are the things that's going to happen when the Lord is increasing you on another level. It's going to start making you more and more irritated. But through that patience, hey man, you're becoming more diligent. You're becoming better, right? So continue to endure through all of these different things, man, because that gift, that vision that you have, hold on to that. That's what's gonna keep you moving. That's gonna keep you fired up, and it's gonna come to fruition, right? What does it say? They say in the world, manifestation is a beautiful thing because if you continue to manifest, you continue to put your all into it. Next thing you know, you're gonna look up and you're gonna be right there in it, right? And that in it is the kingdom. It says, now no chastisement to the present seeming to be joyous, but grievous, right? It's gonna be hard. This walk ain't something that's sweet, man. You got to understand that you're a God, bro. It says you are the children of the Most High, the children of the living power, right? So this isn't going to be no ordinary walk of how your mortal mind would think of. Oh, it's just oh so grievous, bro. This is a punishment of a God, somebody that's going to live forever, somebody that's going to be immortal, right? So it's going to be hard right now, but when we get into the kingdom, they say it's going to be like a nightmare. Eventually, it's gonna be so like you're gonna be living for so long. Like, dang, y'all remember that when we had to go through that? It says, nevertheless, afterward it yieldeth the peaceable fruit of righteousness to them which are exercised thereby. So by those that are going through this walk, hey, it's gonna yield that peaceable fruit, man. That man that's been tried, that's been proven to be gold, that's been proven to be one of the Lord's men that he sees his image in, right? And hey, and it's gonna go up from there. But we have to continue to trust the process, man. Don't let these days continue to like make you bitter. Don't let these days put you in a state of feeling as if it's taking forever or that your things are going unnoticed. Right? Everything that you're going through and everything that you're doing is going noticed, man. It's all for a reason. Continue to trust the process. You had anything else? Oh, you said you had that First Corinthians, right?
Yeah, let me see if we still can get that. Let me see. It was First Corinthians 10.
You can get it. It's on 13.
Yeah, we get that.
It says 1 Corinthians 10 and 13, there have no temptation taken you, but such is common to men. But Yahweh is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able.
Yeah, in the NLT it says, so the temptations in your life are no different from what others experience. And just like how we brought out earlier, we all go through similar experiences or have gone through the same thing or going through the same thing, at the same time, you know. But how about Shemi Awashai? He give us a way out, like you said, and he puts a certain amount of weight on you that you could bear, not as much as ones that you can't bear. So don't think, hey, whatever you're going through is too heavy, because it's always gonna be a way out. You just got to keep on enduring. You gotta trust the process. Whatever he putting you through, is to make you as gold. He just gotta get that bullshit off you.
He's not gonna push you through anything that he know you can't handle. He know you better than you know yourself. And it be times where really you being a brat, you being a female about it. Oh, I hate that I'm going through this. Then after you go through, you be like, hey, actually, it really wasn't that bad.
Facts. Yeah, just I think it's a scripture on that. Going into how when you're going through shit, it feels terrible. But at the end, hey, you look at it as like as a lesson. You
And that's
end
why
up laughing about it at the end of the day, because that shit was grievous at the moment. Yeah, I think it says chastisement is grievous at the moment.
Hebrews
Roughly
12, we win it.
paraphrasing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's grievous now. But once you're in the kingdom, you're gonna be like, you know what? It was worth it. It really wasn't even that bad. Now it was that bad. Like we don't never want to come back to this again. But point being, hey, it's all for a reason, man. You just gotta trust the process. It says, I'm gonna read from the top. There have no temptation taking you, but such as come on, man.
LG tweaking.
It says there have no temptation taking you, but such as common to man. But Yahweh is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape that ye may be able to bear it. Right? It's always a way to escape, man. These videos are a way to escape, to vent, to help reset you, to help keep you in understanding of, hey, it's all for a reason. The Lord said he was gonna do this. Who is he forsaken that's trusted in the Lord? Who is he forsaken that's been doing what he's supposed to be doing? Right? And that's how you combat those different things that you're going through. That's how you combat those different spirits, right? When they try to bring you down, hey, the Lord said this. He said I was going to go through this, but he also said if I go through this and I conquer this, I'm gonna get this. All right. So let me continue to fight, man. But
Real
that's
talk.
all I had. You had anything
Shit,
else?
likewise. I ain't had nothing else.
All right. So Lord willing, this video is edifying, man. With that, we want to give all praise and glory again to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakash. Shalom, Akim, man. That just fired me up. On to the next. I want to say Kwam Yasharallah,
Mama
Abab
Charlotte.
Abal.
Above a bar.
Man, chemotherapy 2026, man. Soon.
Soon.